Welcome back, guys, to another Tesla news video. And so far, Tesla is announcing some pretty big things. And one of the biggest things is their new Autopilot accident data report. And guess what? It's showing really good signs of improvement. And so far, Tesla is trying to convince to Congress and the government that, hey, Autopilot is super safe. We should allow these on the road to more users, and also we should definitely enable the robotaxi network. So the whole reason why this Autopilot accident report is such a big deal is Musk has promised a lot of consumers that the robotaxi network will be operational by the end of 2020. Right now, it's late October and early November, so Musk really needs to crank this out as soon as possible. And when Elon Musk promises a product by a certain time frame, he usually delivers and he has a really good track record. Tesla has also released the full self-driving beta to many of their customers, and they have also jacked up the full autopilot prices from $8,000 to $10,000, but you get more features. It's pretty expensive when you get a Tesla for like $37,000, $38,000, and it's even more expensive when you have to add in the $10,000 autopilot software. And that is super pricey. The whole reason why people are so bullish on Tesla stock is because of the robotaxi. So here's how it goes. You wake up, you get into your car, you drive your Tesla to work, you park it in the parking garage, and instead of just leaving it there for the rest of the day for your 8 or 10 hour shift, you could tell your Tesla to go out and become a Uber or Lyft driver, but there's no one in it. So it's like a fully autonomous robotaxi, and it picks up customers. Musk has said that you could be making about $30,000 per year from a robotaxi. And I'm just thinking, after a year and a half, it could easily just pay off for Tesla. And since these use lithium-ion batteries instead of combustion, electric cars have way less maintenance and they last a lot longer. And let's talk about the safety report, because this is the first big step to enabling a lot of these robotaxis on the road. Keep in mind, the full self-driving beta is actually pretty decent, but it's going to take a lot of convincing to Congress to pass this robotaxi thing and have these robotaxi Teslas on the road. And if you look at the vehicle safety report that Tesla released for Q3 2020, it says this: in the third quarter, we registered one accident for every 4.59 million miles driven in which drivers had autopilot engaged. For those driving without autopilot but with our active safety features, we registered one accident for every 2.42 million miles driven. For those driving without autopilot and without our active safety features, we register one accident for every 1.79 million miles driven. By comparison, NHTSA's most recent data shows that in the United States, there's an automobile crash every 479,000 miles. So what Tesla is saying in this report is, hey, our autopilot system is honestly pretty phenomenal. Without it, people will be having more accidents. And if you look at some of the even cooler data, is when you have the autopilot engaged, there's one accident every 4.59 million miles in Q3 of 2020. In Q2 of 2020, it was one accident every 4.53 million miles driven. In Q3 2019, it was one accident for every 4.34 million miles driven. And the more miles driven, the safer it gets. You kind of get the idea. Every single year and every single quarter, it gets better and better. So there's a lot of improvement. And keep in mind that, as a little disclaimer, a lot of these autopilot miles were driven on the highway, where it's a lot easier to get a bunch of mileage, and usually there's less accidents. People don't really drive autopilot in major city centers. They usually drive them outside in major highways, which once again don't have that many accidents. But nevertheless, this is pretty impressive with Tesla. I mean, this brand new autopilot data report shows that, hey, we are making progress, our safety features are better than ever, and we should definitely be allowed to do some sort of a robotaxi network here in the United States. Maybe they will test a robotaxi network in some cities, maybe San Francisco, LA, or possibly like Jersey, but that's about it. The next major piece of news is Tesla is working with Panasonic, their partner, on a prototype 4680 battery cell production line. So the 4680 battery cell is pretty important since it is a pretty big battery cell, twice as big as the previous one, but it's cheaper to produce and it's denser, holds more charge, and uses less materials. And during a briefing on Thursday, Panasonic's chief financial officer says that they will be starting and preparing to produce the 4680 battery cells for Tesla. Now, Panasonic has also worked on a prototype manufacturing line for this specific Tesla 4680 battery cell after Tesla Battery Day event last month. And so far, this is pretty good. And keep in mind that the 4680 cells features 500 times more energy and also 6 times more power than Tesla's older batteries. Remember those really tiny little battery cells? Yeah, it's way more powerful than those. And the 4680 cells, according to a lot of engineers, they say it's absolutely brilliant. And so far, this battery cell manufacturing plant needs to go on, because if Tesla wants to be producing a bunch of these battery cells in less than 2 years, they need a cheap way to actually do it, because they actually promised that in Berlin, they will be launching the Model Ys with the 4680 battery cell, and then they will be adding that into the Model 3, and then they'll be shipping that to China. And then here in the US, we will be getting cars with the 4680 battery cells within 2 years. And that is honestly pretty nice. Now, keep in mind, we don't really know too much about this production line, but keep in mind, Panasonic, they're pretty experienced, and they are developing this prototype 4680 cell production line for Tesla. It's pretty nice. Let's just see what happens, because right now, Tesla is pretty busy and doing all sorts of different stuff. There's a lot of competition with Tesla. You got the Porsche Taycan, which is coming out very soon. You got the GM Hummer, which is fully electric and it's coming soon. You also have like the BMW electric vehicles and the Mercedes-Benz electric vehicles. When you have so much other competition vehicles coming out, honestly, the best way to actually start making even more money and try to differentiate yourself with them is starting a really good high-end battery cell production line. A lot of vehicles out there and a lot of car companies do not have these giant battery cell production lines. Tesla not only is working on this prototype battery cell production line, but this is cranking out possibly the world's best battery cell right now, the 4680. And people are saying if that does come out and get shoved into the Model S, the Model S could be driving to 600, 700, even 800 miles on a single charge. On top of that, Tesla is also working on a better charging facility for their vehicles. With a 4680 battery cell, we could be seeing charging being a lot faster. These battery cells could definitely last a lot longer. And with this production line coming out, we may be seeing a major drop in these battery cell prices, which in turn, a lot of these Tesla vehicles, like the Model Y, Model S, Model 3, will drop in prices as well. Remember, Tesla is trying to lower the prices. If they could lower the Model 3 to possibly just $30,000 or $32,000, I could guarantee you they will get more sales than ever before. That's about it, guys. Thanks for watching, and comment below.